Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I thought today we would talk about the Mirage 3S C70. This is a Swiss Mirage that was added recently to the German tech tree, and I thought I would give a bunch of the Swiss vehicles a go, basically because of the fact they are a bunch of vehicles that I just kind of wanted to grind out and just kind of chill with. And what I ended up doing is spading out the Sabre Dog, God save me, and then I ended up playing the Hunter F58A, which is similar to the Hunter F58 in the squadron vehicle area, apart from you don't get countermeasures, which is quite a big deal, and also at the same time, you don't get the Mavericks. So you basically don't get the two things why people, play the Hunter F58, but it is at least a low BR. And with that, I unlocked the Mirage 3S C70. Now, I've never had a bad time in the Mirage. I think it's a fantastic platform. The Mirage 3C, fantastic. The Mirage 3E, fantastic. Even the ones in the Israeli tech tree, such as the Nesha, which is of course based off of the Mirage 5, or the Shahak, which is the Mirage 3CJ, I had a great time with because they all have fantastic missiles, and a lot of it is about the setup of the vehicle. This Mirage 3 SC70, I've got to be honest, it was one of the more rougher times that I've had with the Mirage, but it isn't its fault. And I got meta slammed in this thing. I don't know how else to put it. I actually looked through all of my battles. I had a 92% chance going into a battle of getting a full up tier. That means that in the games that I played out of this Mirage 3S, about 90% of the time of it, I ended up in a full up tier, which basically meant that I was just getting hammered by F4Es, J37s, and a lot of the other 11.3 monsters, and a lot of MiG-21 Bisses turning up too. So I feel like my experience in this thing is massively kind of kowtowed because of the fact that I ended up playing a lot of those vehicles and ended up just kind of getting my head kicked in. Because the kind of interesting thing about this Mirage 3S is it has access to really interesting mechanics that you usually only get at higher BRs. Whereas if you're playing at those higher BRs with the Mirage 3S, other vehicles already have these mechanics. And the mechanics I'm talking to with the Mirage is the Falcos, the good old AIM 26s, I believe that they are. These are semi-active radar homing missiles, which are based off of the AIM-4s, the ones that are coming in for the F-106. And the difference is these actually have like a proximity fuse on them, and also they're slightly upgraded. So they actually turn a bit better, and they just have slightly better kind of characteristics. And generally, when I got them to work in like head-ons or, chasing targets, they actually work pretty well. They don't have a huge booster on them, but I would generally say that in terms of them and in terms of the BR, they worked really, really well. But the problem is the fact that without those and not playing at your BR and playing at a higher BR, you end up facing stuff which is basically the same mechanic, which is way better than you. So, for example, if I'm using the Mirage 3S and I get a full up tier, I'm facing a J37, and this vehicle has the RB71s, which is basically the AIM-7E2s. I'm also facing the F4Es, which have the same missile, the AIM-7E2s, the dogfighting ones, which are just insanely better than what I have on this Mirage 3S. So it just basically meant that I never felt like I was in a position where I was able to do a lot, because I was just facing a lot of targets which end up having a better, better set of ordnance options than me. So the other thing as well, you need to use secondary armaments on this thing. I did have a few games where I forgot to bring a gun because I forgot that you actually had to equip it on this vehicle. But in order to take advantage of everything this vehicle has to offer, which is mainly its air-to-air stuff, you have to set up a secondary kind of preset. So you bring along the CWAs, which are basically just AIM-9Es. You get two of those. You get two of the Falcos, and then also you get the two 30mm in the center, and then you also get a drop tank with access to a booster on the back as well, which gives you just a little bit of bump. One of the things that is also nice about this vehicle at 10.3, it has access to countermeasures. It gets 45 of them, 15 being large countermeasures and 30 being standard ones. This is enough for the Mirage because the Mirage is also super maneuverable. It's a delta wing aircraft. This thing also has canards, so it flies a little bit different than some of the other Mirages, but no massive differences. The major issue I had with this is the fact that I would just get reamed by 11.0s and 11.3s until I had the engine and until I had the cover. And then once I ended up having those like flight performance mods, it started to feel quite nice. But still, I was at a massive disadvantage compared to all the other vehicles that I was ended up facing. And it just kind of sucked. One of the cool things about these like vehicles, though, that I will say that Gaijin is doing is when you have like these subnation vehicles like this, they are adding in more camouflages for them, so you can kind of grind them out. So you can actually grind out the Falcon's camouflage and the Dragon camouflage on this one. I wasn't able to grind either of them out because, once again, I was just getting my head caved in at full Uptiers. So I feel like this is the type of vehicle that I know can work. I know that I can get the Falcos going. I know that I can pretty much guarantee like 2 kills with them because there were matches where I was able to do it. And then the AIM-9Es, being AIM-9Es at 10.3, I mean, you have literal like, vehicles running around with 4R60s of this BR. But the AIM-9Es were quite nice setup missiles to be able to slow down vehicles, and then you could hit them with the 30s. Like that's basically their only use. But with the Falcos, I felt like, yes, I can do something here. It reminded me of when I used the FAE with the AIM-9C and its like standard search radar. I felt like I was in a position where, okay, I can get something rolling here. I can do something at the start of the battle, and then I can follow up with some of the other kind of IR-seeking missiles. But because of the matchmaking, it just didn't work. It just meant that I wasn't able to fight the vehicles that I was supposed to fight. I had one full down to in the whole time I played this thing. That was it. And as I said, the vast majority of my games were at 11.3, which just wasn't very fun. Because at 11.3 you have monsters, but at 11.0 you have a lot of monsters too, including all of the MiG-21 Bisses, a lot of stuff like the F4s, and then also things like the F-104s, which are all fundamentally better than you. So if I had had better matchmaking in this thing, if I'd played more around its BR, I think this thing would have actually been pretty fun because I can see the vision, if that makes sense. Like when playing this thing, there were certain times where it just kind of clicked and everything kind of came together and it felt really good. Just like it does with a lot of the other Mirages, like it did with the 5BA, for example, which is also a 10.3. That one only gets the 2 AIM-9Js, it doesn't get any of the Falcos. But just to give you like an idea, in the Mirage 5BA in 40 battles, I ended up having a 68% win rate in that thing, 78 air kills and 17 deaths, and that felt really nice for the BR. But I spaded it maybe 6 months ago when the meta was different. In this Mirage 3S C.70, which should technically have better armament than the 5BA, we did 41 battles, so basically the same amount, 46% win rate. I haven't, out of all of the vehicles that we've reviewed of like the last month, after I've been playing a lot the last month doing the Twitch drop stuff and everything like that, I haven't had a single vehicle under 50%. I've been close with the MiG-23 MLD, but this one is a 46% victory rate, and I had 84 kills, air kills, and 26 deaths. So we're looking at basically like a 3-to-1 KD there, which for air for me is pretty good, but we were just getting slammed over and over and over again in the matches by people coming in. I want to give this vehicle another go. I want to give it a go maybe in like 6 months time, maybe in like a year time, because I feel that it will be good. I do, and it just sucks that it isn't right now, and it's just another vehicle that is just getting crushed by the meta around it, and there's just too many of these at the moment. The aircraft right now, there are too many defined BRs, where you either play those BRs and it's really fun and enjoyable, or you don't and you get your head caved in. Unfortunately, the 3S at the moment is in a BR where you get your head caved in. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.